Hi, I'm Toby Porterfield. I'm the chair of the Department of Business Analytics and Technology Management. And I'm generally our host for the day, but we've got several people that have joined our panel today. And I'd like you to meet them. I'm going to introduce them one at a time here, and then give you a little thumbnail of what we do in our department and might prompt you on some questions. And then we'll start taking some questions and hopefully address any of your concerns with this. So I'd like to start, if we can, with Ms. Summer Atkinson.
Hi, I'm Summer Atkinson. I'm what's called a professional development partner. Basically, what I do is I work on the advising side, and I work in conjunction with the Business and Technology Management Department, as well as the Economics Department. I do advising, but I also do more of the career side. So when you're starting to look for an internship or decide on your career goals, I'm also the other person to talk to. But I also do FYE advising as well. So if you're a first year student, there's a chance that you might be assigned to me. So there's a good chance that you might see me as your advisor if you decide to pick one of the programs that are under the BATM umbrella.
Super. I'd have to also add, not only is Summer a great resource for us connecting with our outside industry folks and helping prepare students on their professional skills and that career focus, but she's also an alumni of the business program at Towson. So she's got several years experience in staff, and she's got the real experience of having been a Towson student. So thanks for joining us, Summer.
Not a problem.
So as we bring Professor Tomasi in, we also have a student with us, Ansley Cole. I'll let Ansley introduce himself. It's great to have a student on board with this, because often the questions we get are, you'd rather have that insider information, because us faculty are a little biased in what we think. So Ansley, can you introduce yourself, a little bit of your background?
Hello, everyone. My name is Ansley Cole. I'm a student consultant with the Student Academic and Career Services. I'm a junior here at Towson with a major in business administration with concentration in human resources. I took a course in the BATM, I guess the office or the program. Yeah, anything else?
No, that's great. You make a good point, because each of our departments, finance and accounting and management and marketing and business analytics and technology, all provide courses that all business students take. So when it comes to technology courses or analytics or project management, students take our courses regardless of their concentration. But then students who choose one of our two programs, which are business systems and processes and project management and business analysis, then they receive a full dose of 5 to 8 courses that are the focus of their program. And so Ansley has chosen poorly. He's an HR major, but we love him anyway. So he's taken a couple of our courses, but then we have lots of students who are focused in our majors. But we wanted to have Ansley on board here, because sometimes questions come up about what it's like being a Towson student, or how do you choose your classes, and Ansley has lived it most currently. So thanks for jumping in with us. Now, I'm hoping that Professor Tomasi was able to jump on board, so I'm going to throw it over to her just to introduce herself. And if you could, while you've got us, give a little background on the BSAP program, Business Systems and Processes, because you've been kind of a key resource on that.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the business systems new major that we have, BSAP. Business systems and processes. It's a new program that we created, and we did it with the help of a lot of corporate, external industry folks, and we kind of asked them what are some skills and tools that you think would be useful for some new graduates. And we heard around, especially within the Maryland area, having knowledge about how ERPs work, which is Enterprise Resource Planning, and how that tool really encompasses an entire organization. And so you've heard a lot about, in the news and in the media, a lot about supply chain and large organizations. It's what's happening. And a lot of that has to do with and how they interact and how a lot of data gets through is using an enterprise resource planning software like SAP. But there's lots of other ones, Oracle. And we have our students learning about different functional areas and how they use SAP and how it all intertwines together with all the different processes, especially the supply chain. And then we talk a little bit about in your program about all the data that you have and how you analyze that using some different tools like SAP Luminera, how you are able to make some intelligent decisions. And so it's a really useful program that is going to help our graduate students be able to get a job very quickly. A lot of what we've heard around from corporate people is that a lot of new graduates don't have the hands-on experience that they need to have with SAP. And in this program, we really have our students working 95 to 5% of the time in most of their classes hands-on in SAP. And so they're quite knowledgeable, some of the technical terms. And when I say technical, I don't mean like programming technical. You're kind of the middleman between someone that is very, like your managers that want things done and get me what I need versus that's very technical people that are doing the hardcore programming. So you're kind of that middle person taking kind of requirements from what clients and managers would like to see. And kind of working with your programmers to identify how to get them what they need.
Perfect. I'll add to that. So that's our business systems and processes undergrad major, and very focused on the technology, applied technology, hands-on. Students also earn a industry certification in SAP as part of the program, and they're also eligible for the supply chain MSBS. So if they would like to take 3 graduate courses as part of their undergrad, they could fast track their master's program and finish their bachelor's in the 4 years and then potentially finish the master's in 1 additional year. So it's our +1 program. And the other item that's special about our BSAP program is that it is STEM certified. So it is recognized as a STEM program because of its strong technology components. I also wanted to introduce in the background is Miss Melanie Dorsey, who is our department administrator. She really keeps things running in the department, and typical, she's keeping things running today by monitoring the chat and making sure that we don't lose track or lose sight of our time for our situation here. So thanks, Miss Dorsey, for backing us all up on this. So Professor Tomasi had shared some overviews of our BSAP program. Students sometimes will come into Towson, or often, and will take that as their primary major, which is great because they take all of the traditional business courses of accounting and economics and finance and marketing, and then they take an additional set of focused business systems and processes courses of 5 to 6 courses, and that's where they really get into the hands-on part and the knowledge of how these systems are used to integrate business processes. Some students also will take a major in another area of business like finance or accounting, and they can use BSAP as a double major. And if you double major with another business area, it usually ends up being that you only need to take the additional 5 technology-oriented courses. So we have a lot of students who are majors in other areas and do that double. And so you have that distinction of graduating with a double major, as well as all that SAP knowledge and your SAP certification and your other major. Now, when it comes to that other major side, business administration is the other primary major in the College of Business, and it has, Summer, you might have to give me the nod on this, is like 8 or 9 concentrations related to it?
Oh, there's a lot of concentrations. We have economics, finance. Under finance, there's also investments, financial planning. There's management, HR, international business, entrepreneurship, marketing, legal studies, and PMBA.
Yeah. So a lot for students to choose from. And there's also minors associated with many of those. So we've got lots of flexibility. That's one of the real benefits of looking to come to a university like Towson. We have the largest accredited business school in the state. And most people don't think of us that way, but we have well over 3,000 business students. And so with that critical mass, you get a lot of flexibility in choosing what major you want and what area you want to focus in, but then also the opportunity to tie in minors, double majors, and then these accelerated MSBS programs where you can really fast track together a bachelor's and a master's all in one package. And you see why I call on Summer, because she can actually keep track of all these. Now, somebody just poked their head in a minute ago, and it wasn't Sherlock, was it?
That was Ella.
That was Ella, okay. And Sherlock's well as well?
He is on the floor, but he is well, and he just heard his name.
Good for it. Cool. Thank you. It makes us a little more personal. I don't. My house is amazingly taking a nap. Let me give you a little bit of thumbnail on this concentration that my department also hosts. As Summer mentioned, PMBA, that's Project Management and Business Analysis. We introduced that almost 9 years ago, and it has been a big hit with our local industry partners. Not surprisingly, because so much of business today is about dealing with data and how to make business decisions using that data. So the courses in our PMBA, we get so used to those acronyms, our Project Management Business Analysis concentration, there's 8 courses in there, and they really get into mapping business processes, managing quality, doing data analytics, certainly project management, an advanced project management course. So those type of skills are really hot items out on the market these days. And even as we go through this really interesting time of COVID, the data is not going away. In fact, a lot of our students end up taking jobs in the supply chain, as Professor Tomasi mentioned, and supply chain jobs we expect to continue growing because this crisis has really brought supply chain to the forefront when we realize that products that are critical to our daily lives can be disrupted and how difficult that can be, and not only from a medical supply standpoint and all the personal protection equipment, but even simple things as we've all started to experience of toilet paper. So
I have a question here. Should students do an internship, and where do your students intern?
Awesome. Hey, I'm going to throw that if you don't mind, to Summer first, because she is our first point of contact on our outside relationships.
So yes, our students are required for anything that, if they're doing a business degree with the project management or the BSAP degree, they need to complete BizX 460, which is an actual internship and a course at the same time. So our students are required to do an internship before they graduate. But we have connections with, we have students working at Johns Hopkins Hospital, like they're all over the place. Mediterranean Shipping Company. What else? Where else?
Oh my gosh. We got a ton at Northrop Grumman, Stanley Black & Decker, McCormick. And of course, the big companies always come to mind, but medium and small companies, we've got, another benefit of Towson is we have such a huge alumni network. Tens of thousands of alumni are out there. And I'm always surprised when I go visit a company and people come, oh, I'm a Towson grad. Oh, I'm a Towson grad. And so it is the student's responsibility to obtain their internship, but we have great resources and a super network to help guide them in finding those. And so it's pretty unusual where a student doesn't come back and find something that works for them. Ansley, have you gotten involved in that area?
Well, I'm doing my internship this summer with the USDA. Hopefully, with all this going on, it still falls through. But yeah. But I say that in the office where I work in Student Academic Career Services, we have a lot of companies that come in there, Enterprise, Morgan Stanley, T. Rowe Price. They come through, they drop off flyers and stuff. So there's a lot of internship opportunities, and Towson's a good place to be.
That is, I appreciate that. And you're right. We have tabling events where employers come in and do mock interviews with us. So as long as the students are willing to step up, there's lots of resources out there, and we have lots of events and opportunities. But we look to the students then to take advantage of those opportunities and start building their professional networks early. And while Summer and Emsley over in the Student Academic and Career Services area are the tip of the spear when it comes to the required internships, we encourage our students to do multiple internships, either for credit or not for credit, especially in the season we're in right now, because the more you can distinguish yourself out on the job market, the more you can look at what extra you can do while you're in school, such as certifications and minors and double majors, but also to get those internship experiences where you get some real experience you can put on your resume. So we'll support you in that. Back to you, Ms. Dorsey, and help us sort out, because
Sure.
I think I've lost track.
Okay, so have question about programs. Can I do a double major?
I'm gonna, if you don't mind, Ms. Dorsey. I'm sorry, Professor Tomasi.
Yes.
You've been at the heart of that.
Okay, yes. So I just want to also just make a point about students and where they are able to do internships. In addition to the fact that we have a lot of fairs and we do have companies coming on board, a lot of our faculties will always bring in various guest speakers from our corporate partners in all of the different classes. And so you get to have a little bit closer relationship with some people that work in your field, in this field of BSAP, or whether it's PMBA, project management, or if it's business analytics. And you get to actually talk to them, understand what they do in their field. And then in addition to that, I always tell students to always go on Indeed.com and look up, certain skills and skills that you are going to be learning within this program. So whether it's a business analyst or SAP analyst, data analytics, business analytics, and look it up, and you can actually see the different companies that are hiring for you. And those would be companies that you would kind of reach out to when you have to do an internship, and you can actually look to see some of the titles and the roles and what you would be doing. So the next question was, sorry, I had to add to that.
Can I do a double major?
Yes, double major. So yes, we have a lot of students that are doing BSAP that are accounting majors and finance majors. And so what we had talked about previously is that in BSAP, we're learning about the different functional areas. And so what you're doing is you're learning about how the processes work within your organization, and how does a system help you in each functional area. So whether you're in operations and you're doing production, or you're doing sales and so you're in marketing, or if you're in HR, we have a couple of HR people. So if you're in HR, they're still using an SAP. Some of our students have gone to work with Johns Hopkins in an internship. They're actually working in the HR department, and they're working on onboarding, but they're using SAP. And so they're helping with the process of using SAP in their onboarding in the HR department. So it really doesn't matter, which area or functional area you want to combine it with. There's always something, because these large organizations are using ERP. And that's their system that they're using in all the areas, and they'll use it across the organization.
How long does it take to graduate?
So I think it's going to take you a little bit longer compared to if you were going to just do one major, but we do work with you. There are a lot of, and I don't know the word because it's just missing me right now, but there's a lot of overlap between a lot of the different majors and the different concentrations. So a lot of our students, there's things where you can overlap. We have electives that kind of, go into another area. And so we work with you so that you're not here, for,
right.
for
what about, I have a question. What business clubs can students join?
Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of business, so we have project management, which is focused on project management itself. The other one that's just been started is going to be a data analytics visualization student organization. So those are the two we have right now, but students can look around and pick any organization they want to, it doesn't have to be within our department only. So if you find something that's more, if you're into a little bit more technical, there are a little bit more technical student organizations. If you want to be involved in marketing, then you're able to join that as well. It's not specific to, okay, I'm only in BSAP, I'm only allowed to join those student organizations.
Yeah, I would also add when it comes to student organizations, and I'll look for Summer and Emsley to jump in on the end of this, but we have over 200, I believe, student organizations on campus. So everything from Habitat to Humanity for students for all kinds of countries in South America, and you name it, we've got it. And that's part of being on a campus with 23,000 students. There's a lot of interests and a lot of ways to get engaged.
Yeah, there's everything from, like Dr. Fossey was saying, the AMA, American Marketing Association. We've got a real estate club in business, women in business. I mean, there's a bunch in our college, but then we have things like Tiny Tigers, which are the feral cats that live on campus. There's all sorts of things that you can get involved in. Yeah, I had to throw the Tiny Tigers in there.
Thank you, cats and kittens. Emsley, have you gotten involved in any of the student groups?
I dabbed in a little bit with SHRM, the Student Society for Human Resource Management. I'm not a member. I'm affiliated with a couple of members in a professional fraternity called AK Psi. I know there's plenty of clubs and activities. There's a lot of stuff to do at Towson.
That's right. Thanks for the AK Psi shout out. I'm the advisor of the fraternity, and the AK Psi group it has been a great group on campus. They're part of the Greek life system, but they're very focused on business issues and integrity issues, and really a great group. So we've got a full set of various Greek life as well as our regular student groups. Ms. Dorsey, any others?
Yes, sure. What would be some advice you would give to a rising freshman?
Okay, so starting out as a freshman, you're going to start with an FYE advisor like I am. You're going to pick classes through an interest form, and academic advising is actually going to make your schedule for you. I would recommend trying to get, if you're going for business or business systems and processes, get your math pathway started, because you need calculus and statistics. So take that math placement as soon as you can. If you can get into calculus your first semester, get into calculus. The sooner you know what grade you get in calculus, the sooner you know what grades you need in the other ones to get into the major, because you need a 2.7 in those 6 classes to get in the major. But I would say start off slow with major classes. Pick a math and either micro or macro, and that's it. And everything else would be core classes. Then the next semester, you're going to pick the other econ class and another math class. So that you, by the time you're in your sophomore year, you're working your way through admission, because a lot of the classes that don't require admission but are in that pending group require you to be a junior. So you want to slowly go through them. You have plenty of core classes that you need to do. So mix those cores in early so that you get that balance, so that you see whether or not you're actually, enjoying the business side.
Great. Hey, and Summer, you just mentioned business is a screened major. So the students need to have a 2.7 GPA in the what we call our screen courses. But see if I can do these. Econ 1 and 2, which are micro and macro.
Yeah.
Accounting 1.
Yeah.
Statistics.
Yeah.
Calculus and legal.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. And we can help you with selecting those. The freshman advisors that do the initial schedules are very aware. So if you've pre-designated as business, anything in business, then they are going to be looking to get you into 1 or 2 of those your first semester. And then you'll work with your FYE advisor, people like Summer, who will help you then select your spring semester courses. And they will also be looking at, okay, can we get you into 2 or 3 more of these? And notoriously, and I did the same thing, the reason I became a business major when I went to college was so I didn't have to take calculus. And so now that it's required for business students, it does seem to be the one that everybody waits till last. Sometimes it's because they don't realize that they may need a prep course for it before they take it, a prerequisite. And so, as Summer said, I can't emphasize that enough, is that to take that math placement early and get started in your math sequence. Business is becoming more and more quantitative, which is great. It's a good thing because that's where the value is when people get hired out of our programs. It's because they're comfortable in Excel and they're comfortable understanding profit and return on investment and all those things you're going to learn, not just fluffy stuff of, hi, can I help you? We want you to really have skills. And most of those skills, the ones that pay the bills best, are the more quantitative and the more technical. And so getting those math skills built up will serve you extremely well. Hey, I saw another, I think a new question come in, and I know we're running close on our time. It says, what's our typical class size? It's a really good point because I've been talking about how big Towson is. And I will make Emsley comment on this, but we're a big school that feels small. And so our classes are typically around 30, 32 students, particularly when you get into your major area. You could get into some larger classes in psychology and econ, but when it comes to our true business courses, we're going to be right around 30, 32 students. And our expectation is where all of our classes are in Stevens Hall, the iconic, I like to call it, Clock Tower building. And some people would say something else, but I'll say iconic. And so your classes there, you're seeing the people, you're passing your professor. The professor's office is in that building. You know, we're going to get to know you. You're going to join students groups. You're not going to be invisible, which might be bad, but we really like to get to know people. And that way, when you go out to apply for your internship and they say, oh, we need a letter of reference, you don't have any problem going back to the faculty member that you had for business analytics and say, oh, I need a letter. And they go, oh, Joe, I'm so glad, wow, that's great. Let me write you this letter. So you should know your faculty, and your faculty will very often know you by name as well. But Emsley, what's been your experience with class sizes?
Nothing. I feel like they're okay. I mean, pretty 25 to 30, about 30, some class 32. My finance class is pretty big. That was probably the biggest class I've been in. Rest of the classes, about 25 students. And the one thing you said about Stevens, like most of your business courses will be in Stevens Hall. And one thing I noticed this semester, 3 of my classes were in the same room. So I got to sit in the same seat all 3 times. So I guess it was easy. I didn't have to log in and log out of the class, of the computer, but class sizes are good. Stevens is a good place to be. There's a cafe under too, in case you want to get a drink of water or something, or a coffee or something.
Yeah, that's great. It's a good point. We've done a lot with our facility. Now, I'm going to ask, I know we're down to our final minute, so I'm going to ask our attendees, if you have any questions outlying, please pop those in there, because we will have to wrap up on time here, because there's another session coming up for another department. But as we're wrapping up, I kind of like to reiterate those class sizes. At 30, 32, it's enough that we have some good interaction in the classroom. You mentioned, Emsley, the computer labs. Many of our classrooms are lab classrooms, and that kind of ties in with Professor Tomasi's comment. That's because you're going to be hands-on. The professor's going to be explaining, how we do data analytics using linear programming, if you'd like, what I was teaching this week. And I'll discuss how linear programming is used in business today, and then I'll demonstrate how you use Excel to do that, and then the students try it out. And then, so it's back and forth. So it's very, it's not just sitting listening on lectures. It's a lot of doing stuff in the classroom and really being a part of what's happening.
I'm not sure if we have any more. Do we have a minute?
Yes, go ahead, and we're head for our closing comments.
Okay, so I just wanted to share with students as they're trying to figure out what they want to do for their major and select different things. One thing you want to look at when you're thinking about what does a company do and how can I actually get a job afterwards. And what I tell a lot of my students and how everything really is working nowadays is there's a lot of data. There's a lot of data out. We have a lot of data. And companies are using ERPs to track a lot of the transactional data, what you're purchasing, what you're selling, what's happening, what's being produced. And over time, these companies have a lot of data. And back in the day, you used to have people that would rely on their gut because of experience on how to make decisions. Now you have a lot of younger folks having these really big positions in companies because what they're able to do is take that data and analyze it. And they're able to make intelligent decisions that can actually, do good things for the company and be strategic. So that's kind of what our department and what our program is kind of about, is learning not only the system, learning how to use the system, but then taking the data from that system, analyzing it, and being able to make intelligent decisions. And so that's kind of what we do. And there's also a project management that's in there. So that's kind of just like a high level end of how we are and how it all kind of relates together.
All right. Summer, last thoughts that you'd want someone to know about choosing Towson?
I would say it is a great place to be. I mean, I can say that being an alum. I actually stopped working at Towson for a little while, but then came back because it's like a home. So you get this, community feeling. I mean, it's a great program. We update our business program based on what's out there in the business world. So as things are needed in the world, we start updating the curriculum to go with it. So don't think that it's a stagnant degree or it's the same degree as every other place has. We will constantly update our courses to balance out what we need in the world.
Thanks. Ansley, any thoughts for somebody who was considering? You came up from PG County and chose Towson, so if that's right.
Well, actually, I went to Frostburg at first, and my transition to Towson. I'm not gonna down Frostburg, but it was a great choice. Yeah.
Great. We're glad you're here. Hey, it is. I hope we've answered your questions. You can certainly reach out to me or others. Our email information is on the website. Thanks for joining us. We're excited. It's a great time to be a Tiger, and hope to see you in the fall.